Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you, just with everything that's going on this past week with the health and safety protocols, and you guys trying to practice and still get prepared for this game against Seattle, how much of that do you feel like that throws off your rhythm, and how do you maintain that in order to get prepared for Tuesday?
Yeah, obviously, it changes, your normal routine, thinking you're going to have a normal kind of lead up to a Sunday game. But I will say this is by far the best staff and the best group of players I've been around, just with the agility to just navigate different things that come up throughout the week. Maybe, even as simple as in a normal game week when, we make some adjustments to the plan late, and maybe don't get a full speed rep at something, or maybe we just, talk about it in the meeting room, an adjustment to something we've already done, and our guys handle it without any consternation, and we go out and we play well. So I think this group is kind of built to handle different things. Obviously, this has been a unique challenge this week, but I think our guys have really met it, and we've had some really good work on the field and some good Zoom meetings, and we'll continue to do so.
Jordan.
Hey, Kevin, what has it been like in terms of your communication with Matthew through a time of immense chaos, to put it lightly?
Yeah, it's been pretty normal from a standpoint of conversations that maybe he would come by on a player's day off, or he's got a routine that he's been able to kind of keep, whether it's through Zoom meetings with myself or just watching the tape on his own at home of different cut-ups we put together for him, that we do every week. Obviously, playing an opponent that we've already played this year, there's some commonality that we can kind of, as a starting point, not only as a staff but as a quarterback group, talking about an opponent we have a lot of respect for. But the Zoom platform and all the experience we had on it last year, as kind of a necessity, in a week where we've kind of had to shift to that, it's actually been unique from a standpoint of, hey, instead of just something I might have texted him before or called him about if he wasn't at the building, it's, hey, let's hop on a Zoom here and just make sure we're on the same page about this or that as it pertains to the plan, so that he's that much better off, a step ahead. So when we do get out on the grass, he can be an extension of us on the field.
And then a slight pivot, but I kind of asked Raheem a similar question, thinking way back to the Arizona Cardinals game about 6 days ago. Collectively, not just what the players were able to do on the field, but collectively as a staff, do you feel like that was y'all's best coach game of the year? And if so, what was a catalyst, if there was one, that led to sort of that cohesiveness that was like pretty apparent down there on the field?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Raheem's response as far as whether it was what kind of coaching performance it was. I'll leave that to you guys. You guys always do a great job of analyzing that as is, so I'll leave that to you guys. But I think the catalyst was what I just talked about as far as the agility of our players and really our staff, and it starts with our head coach. I cannot say enough about his ability to always lead from the front, and no matter the situation, no matter the circumstance, we're going to figure out a way, and we're going to do whatever we can as a staff to put the players that we're going to have up in the best possible situations, and try to limit any issues that we may have. And that goes with what we try to do each and every week, whether it's a normal week or a week where you're adjusting to things that may be out of your control. And then once the game starts, just the elite communication between us as a staff, once again, starts with our head coach, and really what trickles down to all three of us as coordinators, then to the rest of the staff and to the players. And then that ability in game to communicate with then the players. And I can think back to several plays where we were talking to either Odell or Van or, some of our players, between series about plays we were going to run, and then watching those guys go out on the field and have that stuff come to life. It just speaks to our entire process. No matter the circumstance, we're going to stick to that. And we pride ourselves on that.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Jordan.
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. Assuming Darrell Henderson is back, we know he's back, I guess, active, assuming he's healthy. Has anything changed in who starts and how carries are divided, given what Sony Michel has been able to do the last couple of games?
Yeah, I think that's kind of just a wait and see approach based upon, actually who will be available for the game, but then also just knowing, and I think from day one, Kevin, we've talked about just Sony's value and why we thought it was so important to go out and get somebody like him, and how lucky we were to be able to get Sony at that time. Can't credit Les and the guys enough for going to do that because of what we thought of him as a potential 1A, 1B type back with Daryl. And I think that's just proved to be 100% true. And his ability to kind of, withstand a lot of carries, a lot of different impactful plays in the game, knowing that his availability and keeping him in the game has been so huge for us. But then also just to, piggyback off that now late in the year, to have two backs that you feel really, really good about, have proved it. I think the guys up front on the offensive line, they know, they turn around, they see either one of those guys. They feel great about, blocking for those guys and the play that's to come. So I think it's a matter of by the play, by the drive, by the situation. Both those guys do a lot of really, really good things. In some cases, maybe different than one another that we can apply and really take advantage of. And they feed off of one another's success. That's been the best part, is watching Daryl be so supportive of Sony and vice versa. So hopefully we see a lot of that on Tuesday.
And then the Seattle defense, how do you see them at this very moment? Is that a case where looking at yards allowed doesn't tell a whole story?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, I think they're playing really well right now. I think they've really figured out what they want to be, what they want to do defensively. They're always playing physical. That front is a very physical front. And then obviously those two linebackers that you continuously see led by Bobby Wagner, and obviously Jordan Brooks is an ascending player. I mean, every time you turn on the tape, it seems like he's making a play. And then obviously Diggs in the back end kind of leading the whole charge for them. You just see those guys, the production up the middle of that defense over and over and over again, and their successes over the last few weeks, and really being a changer for their team as they've really started to get some momentum. So we see that. It's always a challenge when we play those guys. You expect it to be physical. You expect it to be a really hard fought game, and it's going to be 4 quarters of that, and we got to be ready to go.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Stu?
Kevin, is there anything you have to do differently from a preparation standpoint when you're dealing with the amount of personnel uncertainty like you have this week? I'm thinking of, do you structure meetings differently, spend more time with guys on the practice squad, structure practice differently, anything like that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of all that, Stu. It's kind of one of those things where we're constantly trying to find the time within the day and within the the structure of how these days are put together to make sure our guys are prepared. And if it means an extra 5-10 minutes here and there on the grass, if it means stealing a Zoom call with your position group or with the offense or defense, whatever it may be, we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure these guys have a clear mind, confidence to go play fast and be at their best. And offensively, we do have the luxury of a lot of formations. If we sat on this call right now and went through all the variations that we can line up and play offense as a group, I think you guys would be put through the ringer a little bit trying to really understand that. And that's why we do what we do from the spring, building it little by little, so that if we do need to make a formation this instead of that, the guys know, they adjust. Cooper, Odell, or Van lines up in different spots. And then I think one of the great things we've seen is Ben being able to really play at multiple spots in our offense that allows us to really activate him where and when we want. And he's continuing to thrive and make plays, and it's been really fun to watch.
Thank you.
And we'll wrap with Jordan, who has another question.
The way you said that, Artist. Kevin, just wanted to ask you about Cooper Kupp with the season that he's having. I know it's hard to narrow it down to one moment. What's your favorite?
Oh man, that is really, really hard. Selfishly, sometimes it's the play he makes to save a bad idea that I had, or tried to force a play in, and Sean said, "Are you sure you want to run it like that?" And then Cooper makes a play in double coverage and makes me look a heck of a lot smarter than I probably am for sure about that. But I just think about some of the, even going back to last week, just the connection that Matthew and Cooper have to make a play You really look at 2 plays in that game, right? You look at the red zone touchdown where we rolled to him into the boundary. There is, 1 out of 100 places that ball could be, and Matthew to trust throwing it there and for Cooper to go make that play. The me to you factor, like we've talked about before, it's just off the charts with those guys. And then it carries over to a little bit deeper completion we had off the play action where Matthew rolled out to his right. And just where that ball's thrown, Matthew's trust and the way Cooper describes what he was thinking on that play, it's just such next level stuff and allows so much to come to life for us as an offense. He's done so many different things for us from a standpoint of getting downfield explosively in the pass game, critical, 3rd down catches, great in the screen game with some explosives that way. And then I know Raheem talked about it as well. His impact in the run game is so off the charts from a standpoint of being at the point of attack, being on the backside of runs, and his understanding of not only his job, but how it works for all 11 to come together and how he can impact that based upon obviously how we prepare for certain looks, but then how that picture changes and his ability to adapt and adjust and give us the best possible chance as a pseudo coach on the field. It's next level stuff. It's hard to explain, but clearly you guys are able to see it and have it come to life. So that's really cool. He deserves every a bit of the accolades that he's received, and probably more, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that because he's just walked in the room either.
Thanks, Kevin. Artist, thank you for the extra time.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.